In this engaging conversation, Professor Tim Spector unpacks the profound connection between gut health and mental well-being, highlighting how fermented foods can significantly influence conditions such as depression, anxiety, ADHD, and other mental health disorders. The discussion delves into the science behind fermentation, the importance of maintaining a diverse diet rich in plants and fermented products, practical advice for incorporating these foods into daily life, and the evolving understanding of gut microbes, both alive and dead, in supporting overall health. Tim explains fermentation as a microbial transformation that enhances food's flavor, nutritional value, and shelf life by turning simple ingredients into more complex and health-promoting products. Fermented foods like yogurt, cheese, kefir, and wine have been part of human diets for millennia, evolving alongside us and enriching our gut microbiomes. Unlike random spoilage, fermentation involves controlling conditions, such as salt and acidity, to promote beneficial microbes while suppressing harmful ones, making fermented foods safe and nutritious. A key revelation is the gut's influence on brain function, often described as the body's second brain. Gut microbes act as mini pharmacies, producing chemicals that communicate with the immune and nervous systems, thereby affecting mood and mental health. Chronic gut inflammation, often unnoticed, can send distress signals to the brain, leading to symptoms of depression, anxiety, and even spectrum disorders. Tim highlights that gut health might play a more central role in mental health than previously appreciated, and dietary interventions targeting the gut show promise comparable to antidepressant medications for mild to moderate depression. Although exact mechanisms remain under investigation, fermented foods appear to modulate immune responses and reduce inflammation by interacting with gut sensors, particularly in the small intestine. Regular consumption of fermented foods helps retrain the immune system to recognize a healthy state, calming inflammatory pathways that otherwise contribute to mental health issues. The microbes in fermented foods generally do not colonize the gut, but exert transient, beneficial effects by stimulating the immune system and enhancing chemical signaling to the brain. A surprising insight Tim uncovered during his research is the power of dead microbes, known as postbiotics. Contrary to prior belief that only live microbes are beneficial, studies have demonstrated that pasteurized or dead probiotics can have similar or even superior health effects. Dead microbes interact with immune cells much like vaccines do, stimulating beneficial immune responses without risks associated with live bacteria. This discovery broadens the potential for safe, effective health supplements and food additives rich in postbiotics. Tim discusses how industrialization, urbanization, and the rise of supermarkets led to a loss of traditional fermented food practices, especially in the UK and similar Western countries. Whereas for centuries, families made their own yogurts, cheeses, and fermented vegetables, modern convenience and sterilization have removed many microbes from our diets and surroundings. This shift contributes to a less diverse gut microbiome and the rise of inflammatory and mental health conditions. In contrast, many other cultures retain a close connection to fermentation, benefiting from passed-down knowledge. Beyond fermented foods, a diverse diet rich in at least 30 different plant-based ingredients per week is crucial to feeding and sustaining a healthy gut microbiome. Tim emphasizes eating the rainbow and shifting protein sources toward legumes instead of meat to optimize gut and overall health. He outlines 6 gut-focused dietary principles, including plant diversity, fermented foods, avoiding processed foods, time-restricted eating, and personalizing macronutrient choices to reduce inflammation and enhance gut function. Fermented foods often suffer from a yuck factor in some Western regions due to unfamiliar smells, textures, or sour tastes. Tim shares stories of initial aversion to foods like kimchi or homemade kefir, but encourages gradual exposure and creative incorporation, such as mixing fermented products with more familiar foods like cream cheese or using them as condiments. He also warns against sugary, artificially flavored yogurts marketed to children, which undermine the health benefits of genuine fermented dairy. For those new to fermentation, Tim recommends starting with accessible products like full-fat plain Greek yogurt or kefir from reputable brands. Kefir, a fermented milk drink with live microbes, serves as a gateway into more adventurous fermented foods. Beyond dairy, He highlights kombucha, water kefir, kibs, sauerkraut, and kimchi as excellent versatile options to add to meals or snacks. Making fermented foods at home, such as brew kombucha with a SCOBY, symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, is a rewarding and cost-effective way to ensure freshness and control over ingredients. Other common fermented ingredients include soy-based products like miso and soy sauce, which provide health benefits and depth of flavor superior to processed alternatives like stock cubes. Vinegars, such as apple cider vinegar and wine vinegar with the mother, contain beneficial microbes and compounds absent in industrial white vinegar. Even dark chocolate, beer, and traditional sourdough bread are fermented foods, although the quality and authenticity of commercial products may vary greatly. Tim acknowledges the reality of modern lifestyles, where fast food and processed products are often consumed. Occasional indulgence is unlikely to cause lasting harm if the gut is otherwise healthy, as the microbiome is resilient. However, frequent consumption of highly processed, low microbial foods can rapidly harm gut diversity, promote inflammation, and worsen mental health. The emphasis is on consistency and supporting the microbial community through regular intake of diverse plants and fermented foods. The UK and parts of Europe have advanced in recognizing dietary gut health as a foundation for mental and physical well-being, whereas other regions like the United States currently focus more narrowly on probiotic supplements. Tim is optimistic that soon large-scale data, including extensive gut microbiome and nutritional tracking, will unravel detailed mechanisms and personalized approaches. Future breakthroughs may enable tailored foods or supplements that precisely regulate appetite, inflammation, and mental health, a natural alternative to pharmaceutical interventions. Tim reflects on how ancient dietary traditions based on microbial fermentation and whole foods often were effective long before scientific validation. Modern nutrition science is now coming full circle, recognizing the limitations of reductionist thinking focused on individual nutrients or calories. Instead, understanding the complex interplay of microbes, immune signaling, dietary diversity, and whole foods promises a more inclusive, rewarding approach to health that encourages adding a variety of good foods rather than restricting choices.